How's it going, Tommy? Hope you're doing good, bud. Doug Lamb, Kevin McFarland. I'm doing good, guys. Still got this cough that I had 2 weeks ago. Sean, Jason, all kinds of people on there. Jason, I like it when you call me boss man. I don't know what it is. Something just gets me when you call me boss man. Gregory, good to see you on here, bud. Like I was saying earlier, I don't know what's going on, and a trip to convenient care. They still haven't figured out why I'm coughing. Can't get rid of it. Scuba Steve. Scuba, I'm kind of enjoying them cooking tips you're giving on. I kind of like that. I'm learning a little bit there from you on that cooking stuff. I'm learning that I need to live closer to you because I'd come over and eat breakfast with you every morning. What's going on, Dustin? Good to hear from you the other night, bud. Yeah, you're right, Dustin. Jason would do anything to kiss butt. I'm telling you. I mean, old Jason go back a long time. Let a few more of you get on here, and we'll figure out what we want to talk about tonight. I know we're going to talk a little bit about hunting around and on top of food plots. Give you my 2 cents worth. I don't know how good it's going to be for you, but everybody's got their own different thing, man. I know I've taught myself a bunch over the last 30 years, last 25 especially, over hunting over food plots and around them. So learn from your mistakes. That's how I like to do it. CJ, I appreciate that. Loving the deer mineral. Scuba, you can bring the small cooker. You tell me you're bringing it. Even if it's electric one, I'll get power at that booth. You can cook all you want, buddy. I'll eat it, but I won't do dishes. I'm telling you that right now. I got to do enough dishes at my own house. Kevin, I don't know about me forgetting more than most people. Like I said, everybody hunts a little different, you know. I mean, and it really depends on the property. You know, I got 2 different properties that you got to hunt completely different. And so really, Brenda Bell, my aunt's on here. That's the last person I thought I'd see on here. I love you, Aunt Brunel. Or Brenda. I'm sorry, it's Brenda. Love you, Brenda. Another aunt, my mom's youngest sister. Yeah, Dustin's holding you to it, Scuba. He might even actually come and work a booth if you got food there. Come on, Dustin. I know you got something good to say back. Come on. Don't hold back. I know I treat my pro staff guys pretty bad. Yeah, give it a couple more minutes here, guys, and I'll fire it up. And I apologize about all the coughing. Old Dustin talking about he's tired after one day. All right, Jason Beal, you comment on that one. Me and you've done enough 3-day and 4-day shows together. Hey, Doug, I know I sent it all over the marketing guys, but I haven't heard one word. You know, that's the negative thing right now with that stuff, getting it over to the corporate and all that to get figured out. All I can do is bug them, and I'll continue bugging them. I know it's coming up. Well, we got a Facebook user saying hello. Is that Mark Coleman? I get a few of them each time, and it's usually Mark. You tell him, Scuba. We got you guys on there, and I got guys on here. Somebody asked me if I'm sick and tired of all the diets. Does it look like I need to go on a diet? Holy cow. CJ's asking, in your opinion, what plot works the best for holding deer in the area during the transition from bachelor groups? Buddy, if I want to hold deer on my property, no matter what kind of what time of the year it is, I mean, I'm going with a perennial, like our trophy clover mix. Game changer clover in the poor soil shaded areas, trophy clover in the sunny areas, or Booner Buffet. I want something that's going to be there year round, and deer are going to know it's there 12 months out of the year. And with us using cool season seeds, it stays green through the snows sitting on top of it. They dig it up to get that protein they need. So I'm always going with a perennial. Tommy, I appreciate it. Look, I appreciate your business, and you have any any issues using that jolt and stuff, let me know. I will tell you this, bud, the jolt, we've used the jolt for many, many years on our clover, but being at nitrogen base, you will feed the weeds and grasses a little bit. Back in 2018, we came out with the clover fuel. The clover fuel will only feed the legume plants, such as your clovers, alfalfas, peas, beans, stuff like that. It's a 0028. It's only going to fuel the legume plants and not the weeds and grasses, but that jolt will do wonderful on that clover. Like you say, you might feed the weeds and grasses a little bit, but nothing wrong with that. Mark Coleman's on here late. That's not like Mark. Scuba talking about rain on the plots. Man, I'm telling you what, bud. I finally started getting some. Now it's dry again, and now it's getting cooler. Literally, I can say I'm embarrassed. I got the worst looking clover plots you've ever seen in your life this year. I mean, they are horrible just because of the drought. I just couldn't get enough rain on them late this summer to get them to pop. I mean, they're green. They're lush green. They're just short. Sounds good, Tommy. You really like that, bud. They talking about Game Changer works great in Oregon. Love that product. Man, it is, but that Game Changer. That is a perfect name for it, especially if you got them areas that is shaded, poor soil. But the more sun it gets, the better soil it is, the more forage you're gonna get out of it. But it does very well. It took a few years to get that one right, but we finally got it tested out right. Kevin's getting plenty of rain in Ohio. That's the first I've heard of that in a long time. Everybody I talk to still complaining about rain. I'm glad you're getting it, bud. Yeah, Dustin, I'll tell you what, them pictures you sent me of that, especially that slam dunk plot, how bad it looked, and then you start getting that rain. It's amazing what these plants can go through and survive. I'm getting them calls daily right now of brassica plots, honey holes, slam dunk, all them plots turning yellow, getting brown spots on the leaves. There's just no moisture, no moisture at all. And the worst thing to do is put fertilizer on it, as in a granular fertilizer. The foliar fertilizer, like our clover fuel and our jolt, depending on what plot it is, you're fine. But that granular, you can burn them pretty quick if it has nitrogen added to it. Mark's heading to the farm tomorrow night, going to be in the stand. Setting over Game Changer plot at 30 yards. I like that. You're exactly right, Dustin. Don't overseed a food plot. Man, that's the worst thing you can ever do. Worst thing ever. And coming back to like a lot of these people talking about their brassica plots turning yellow, getting some brown spots on it. It can be moisture. It can be overseeded. Then plots that get up 6 inches high look beautiful, and all of a sudden they start wilting over and dying. So it just depends on what you got going on there for you. Jason's talking about how his honey hole plot looks good, except it's just pretty much the tops, not the bulbs this year because of Mother Nature. You'll see that a lot. Deer are still hitting them. High energy food source right there. They hammer them. Really, the reason I plant turnips of the other brassica family, I plant it for the greenery. I really don't care if it grows a bulb or not. That's just me. I just want the most high energy food source I can give them, and they're going to get that out of them tops. So that's all I really look forward to. Man, you got a frost over there, Mark? It's been about 41 here the last 2 mornings. Makes you feel like you should be in a tree stand. Greg's asking if I could explain what he should be seeing growing in his grade 8 plot. For instance, does it all come up now, different seeds? What you got there, bud, in a newly planted grade 8 plot, since you got 8 different varieties there, you're going to have 8 different plants that are going to, I'm going to say 8. Some of them are going to they're going to get that germination time about the same. They're going to mature out close to the same, but you'll see different stages of growth coming in there. Usually you're going to be seeing your oats coming up first, your cereal rye coming up first. Them two right there is a no-brainer. Then it usually follows by your brassicas. But that cereal rye and that cereal rye, I'm sorry, and the forage oats is what you're going to start seeing coming up first. The things that look like grass plants coming up, that's what you're going to see. Wow, Mark, 37 degrees. I didn't realize you got that cold over there for you. You're not very far from me. I hear you, CJ. Saturday can't come soon. No, I know we're opening up Saturday, which we're getting ready to talk about it here just shortly anyway. I mean, I had all intentions in the free weekend to do it, but I'm staying out. The wind's just wrong for me, and I'm not going to booger the deer I'm chasing. And very easy to do this time of year. He's showing up pretty regularly, but I don't want to take a chance of burging him out there. So, well, while we got you on here, let's just go ahead. I'll scroll through a little bit, but we're going to start talking about this. And, there's a lot of people, again, you guys all hunt different. Every property hunts different. Everybody has their own way of hunting it. What I'm going to talk about is something that I have found in the last 25 plus years of me planting food plots, hunting food plots, and all the lessons I learned by my mistakes. Years ago, I couldn't wait to plant a food plot. I didn't care where it was at, as long as I had an open spot to put a plot in, and I'd go set in it. 99% of the time, I was spooking deer off of it, going to it and coming back from it, depending on when I was hunting, morning and evening. But I didn't know any better, So over the years, I've learned, in my personal opinion, that it's better to hunt off the food plot than sitting over top of it. Now, some places you can hunt right over top of them. What I have found, and it really, literally, the learning curve that I seen was when cell cameras came out. When I got my first cell camera, or cell cameras, I should say, and put on them food plots, I was blown away by how many deer were on them food plots when I'd go in at 12:30, 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and how many deer were on them in the morning that I was pushing out there if I was trying to go set over top of a plot, which I hardly ever did anyway, but you could push them out of them plots. But in the evening, when them cell cameras came out, they were the biggest tattletale sign you ever seen. And I'm not just talking does and yearlings. I'm talking good mature deer that are on them plots, especially during the rut with them does on it, or even just in there feeding, that I was pushing deer off there that I didn't even know I was pushing off. And the number one mistake I think most people make is they set over a food plot, and then come dark, you got to figure out how to get out of it because you got deer underneath of you. A lot of guys are hunting on small plots. You take a quarter acre, half acre plot, you get 3 or 4 deer in it at dark. Are you going to set and wait it out for an hour or two in the dark? Or are you going to spook them deer getting out of there? 99% of the people is going to spook that deer getting out of there because they're going to think, well, it's dark. They're not going to see what I am. And if you've never watched anybody climb down out of a tree while you're waiting on them, there's all kinds of noise and movement going on. I mean, it's not something you might think you're being quiet. Them deer go crazy. So you got to think them deer can see what we can't. So hunting that food plot is you have to have a good entrance and a good exit to get to and away from that plot without being detected. I personally have found that I will set over a food plot that I can literally see that plot, but I'm sitting on a travel corridor or in between. So I know what's in that plot coming up close to dark. Don't get me wrong, there's many a nights. And my best friend in the world, Eric Kibler, I never thought about it. And he brought it up one time years ago, and we've done it for years. You know, we take a coyote howler with us and we're setting up in there. And when it gets dark, we throw a couple yelps out there and a howl, let that clear the field, then we get out of there. But you still got to have a spot that you can get away from that field plot without them deer that just ran out there 30, 40, 50 yards and they're stopping and trying to figure out where that coyote's at. You got to be able to make sure you can still get away from there without them being detecting you. So most people, when they put a plot in that have never put one in, like me in my early days, I mean, I got property right now that I could put plots in. There's no way I can hunt them. So I just use them for food plots. I don't use them for a kill plot because there's no way I can get in and out of that stand, in and out of that off that food plot or even anywhere close to it without getting busted. So I'm always looking what my wind normally does. I want to know what that prevailing wind is and how I can get into it and get away from it. That's the main things right there, getting into it and away from it without being detected. Because you can booger a doe off there, you can booger a little buck off there, they'll come back, no big deal. You take a big mature buck and you booger him one time, 99% of the time that deer is not coming back. He's going to find another home or he's going to skirt around it. So you're messing with a whole different critter right there when it comes to pressure. That's the worst thing you can ever do to a deer is pressure it. You know, like I was talking with me not going hunting this weekend. We got northeast wind. How this buck that I'm chasing is coming across my field into my food plot and then cutting through the timber to go to the ag fields. I can literally set across to the old homestead with a northeast wind, which is the best wind in the world for that blind, and watch him cut across there at 100 yards. Now, I could take that chance and maybe he might want to turn and go straight to the ag fields and walk right in front of me opening night. I don't know if he will or not, but the cameras are showing me that about every third night he's cutting straight across about a half hour before dark. So why do I want to sit in that stand and take a chance of him not walking in front of me and take that chance of some other deer getting out there and busting me while he's walking across or if he's anywhere close? So play that wind. I don't care. I use ozonics. I use everything in the world to help me with my scent. And it is, I mean, nose jammer ozonics, my two favorite friends in a tree stand. And I still will booger deer. So don't get out there and do something that's going to pressure that deer and make him get away from there, especially the opening day. Just because I want to go out and hunt and I've been waiting to go sit in a tree stand all summer long, I'm not going to go out there and booger that area because I don't want to take a chance of messing him up. When I know what he's normally doing, and his patterns are going to change anytime, I know that. But there's no reason to get out there gung ho when you know the best time for the hunting this deer is coming up here in about 3 weeks. So my best chances of killing him would either be tomorrow or Sunday with the right wind, or in about 3 weeks because I know he's going to change in between that time. So. Mark Coleman, you're asking me if I wear face paint. I do not, bud. There's a lot of things I don't do. I don't use any deer urine. I don't use face paint. I do use a face mask. With this 3/4 that I pull down. But except for those onyx and the nose jammer, I don't use anything else. Now I will run a, excuse me. I do have licking ropes up that I put pure land on. I start that usually about first part of June to see what the deer are doing. I mean, you start doing that with one of them ropes. they're going to come and hit it every night. You know what deer's in the property. Uh, certain times of the year, I might run a drag, but I never use any urine from the tree stand, nothing like that. You know, the closest thing I have for deer urine in the tree stand is if I'm coming in with a drag on, I'll hang it up somewhere. But other than that, I don't. I know you guys are blowing something up here. Doug Lambs wanting to know what the difference between a kill plot and a food plot is. Well, what I like to say is a food plot is like I talked about. It's a plot that if everybody had the right property, it's easy to do, but not everybody has the right property. Some people want to have one food plot or one plot. But I want to have a food plot that I'm not going to hunt over. I'm not going to pressure. I want the deer to feel safe in it. And that's theirs. And that's where 99% of the time, that's going to be my clover plots. Even though I do use a lot of clover for kill plots, that's going to be a clover plot, year-round food source. Them deer are going to be in it all the time. They're going to feed it. They're going to feel safe. I don't hunt nowhere around it. Now, the kill plot is the smaller plots that I'm putting together. When I build a plot, I always build my plot somehow where I can set that up for the right wind when I can hunt. Like this property, one property in particular, I can hunt it with something out of the south, mostly south, southwest. I can get by with a southeast. I don't like it, but a south or southwest. North winds kill me, except for my old homestead. But the main part of the property, I got to have a south or southwest. So I always make these food plots. I'll make them kind of in a hourglass. I want them to shrink down in the center to where if I either got a blind on it or if I have a tree stand on it, it's no more than a 30-yard shot in this pinch down area. Then it'll open back up. It'll get them deer to travel back and forth through it. So I know if that deer walks through there, he's in killing range. So, and that's for bow hunting, you know, not for the gun guys. But I always want them to bottleneck down, give me a good kill shot all the way across it. If I know he's standing in that plot, I know I can kill him. So that's how I make my plots and build them. But that food plot, that is strictly their refrigerator. Nobody bothers them. They eat whenever they want. They bed down in it. They bed down around it. They're safe. I don't mess with that spot. So, and before cell cameras, I never ran cameras on it because I didn't want to get in there and mess with it. Now, since I got cell cameras, I got cell cameras on it so I can watch what's going on in it. But I just don't like going in there and pushing them around. Old Keaton, good to see you on here, bud. It was good talking to you today too, man. Looking forward to getting to Iowa and meet up with you. And I think I might even get Cody Jarrett to buy us a Mexican dinner there at Leon. So get ready for it. He doesn't know that, but I'll talk him into it. Okay, Doug, you're asking me, no, what's the difference? What do you mean, what's the difference, bub? Kill plots where you hunt over. Food plots is just a food source for the deer to have with no pressure, which I like a high protein food source in my food plots. Dustin talked about the coyote howl as his go-to. That works good. Rick Stillman, buddy, I'm getting ready to see you in a week on our disabled kids hunt. Any recommendations for a rain dance? Buddy, I can't show you on here because it's too pornographic. I'll tell you that. So I go to the extreme on my rain dances. So, I mean, if you promise not to bring a camera and you hide your eyes, I'll come and dance for you, but that's about it. And on your food plot. So you just don't want to see it. Yeah. Unless you want to win $10,000 on America's Funniest Home Videos. Oh, I see what you're doing, Doug. You're saying, okay. I appreciate it, man. See, Keaton, that's what I was doing. I knew Dustin was on here, and I knew he was close to there. Now he's saying he's going to buy us dinner, so that'll work out good. That'll make old Jared happy. I'll tell you that. Greg, I'm glad your plots are doing good, man. I really am. Sorry, guys. I just want to go through these real quick just to make sure, because I know I usually forget some of you on here. Trent's asking what's the best way I have found to set up my licking ropes. I run a 1-inch hemp rope is what I use. I'll take that 1-inch hemp rope. I will actually take a black zip tie. I'll come up about 9 inches, 10 inches. I'll zip tie it so it won't keep unraveling. I'll put it on, but when I fasten it up, I always fasten mine with zip strips up in on a branch. And I like that to actually be about 4 foot high, which is usually about belly on me at about 4 foot high off the ground. Now, the thing you got to watch is depending on the tree that you put it in, because there's many times I put it in a big branch tree with a lot of leaves, and then come the leaves fall off, the rope gets up high. So you got to do some adjusting. But I like in the early season when I put them out in June or so, I run them about 4 foot off the ground, 4.5 foot, somewhere in there. Easy for them. A lot of guys will put them higher where they're rearing up on them, but I like that 4 foot. And usually with the leaves falling off, it doesn't raise them up high enough unless it is a big leaf covered branch. And the rain will lower them down quite a bit too. So when you get them leaves wet. But I like using them zip strips on them because that first deer that gets on it will completely just unravel that whole bottom. It'd just be a big old nest right there. Mark's asking, when do I stop mowing clover plots? Do you have a cutoff date, or is it? It's based on weather, bud. You know, I never mow after the 1st of September here in Central Illinois, where I'm at, with season starting October 1st. This year, I've only had to mow one time, and that was in May. Yeah, that was in May. Then I went 3.5 months with no rain, or 0.3 of an inch. I've only had that's in my life. I've never only mowed a clover plot once. Never. Usually I'm mowing 6, 7, 10 times a year. But this year it was just no rain. Everything just dormant. So it's just going to depend. But I like giving, if Mother Nature is treating you right and you got a good stand of clover and it's starting to flower pretty good, I'll go in there and just take the tops off of it. I'm not getting it down. See, I'm the guy, and I think you guys heard me talk on here a lot. Everybody talks about topping the clover, leaving it up 6, 7, 8 inches high. If I got plenty moisture and plenty rain, I'm mowing my clover down to 2.5, 3 inches off the ground because it just really pops. Now, if you're not paying attention and you do it and you're not getting any rain or you're not going to have any more rain, you can hurt that plot. So for all you guys that have called me and talked to me and everything on the phone, and you've heard me say, just take tops off, that's why I say it, because you're safe that way. But mowing them down lower, that's the way to do it if you can. And then Mother Nature's going to allow you. This year I didn't have to worry about it. But if I got a good thick plot, you know, my clover's up 14, 16, 18 inches tall, and it needs mowed, it's flowered, I want to go in there and knock it down to about 8, 9 inches, maybe 10 inches, and then leave it for that month for hunting season to start. I'll never mow it down that low the 1st of September. But that last mowing's usually just a top, and when Mother Nature's treating me right. Yeah, Rick, when we're there at the hunt, I don't know when you're rolling in, bud. I'm coming in on Thursday to help get a bunch of stuff set up. So I'll be there the whole time. You want to run up to your property and look plots? I'm more than happy to, bud. Trent's asking if I ever used one on a post on the ground, which is he's talking about the lick rope. I never have, but I know a lot of guys that do, bud, and it works fine. You know, you just want to, you know, get you another board or branch or something to stick out off that post, just so it's hanging away from it. But yeah, I know guys that use it. No problem at all. Heck, I know guys that actually, they even take one of them ropes, and I've seen it done out in Wyoming, and I've never done it this way, but I watched some guys do it, that they would actually put it on their cattle. They'd take a rope, a hemp rope, and they'd tie it on the top strand of their barbed wire, and just let it hang there, and it'd only be 2 foot off the ground. But they just want the pictures of every deer that comes by there, and they just want it because them deer are going to come investigate it. They just want the pictures. So really, you can do it any way you want. So, Anthony, good to see you on here, bud. I was wondering where you was at. You're exactly right, Mark. You're creating the tonnage when it comes to that clover. You want the more tonnage as you can get. If I'm in a bad drought type situation, or I shouldn't really say drought time because it'd be nasty, but if you got a good looking plot, but you haven't had rain for a while, say the 1st of September, you're going to start hunting the 1st of October, and that clover is kind of turning a little bit, maybe wanting to go dormant a little bit, but it's flowered, and you think, man, I got to mow it. Don't mow it. Leave it alone. You don't want that tonnage. Yeah, it's not going to be the highest protein, but it's going to be the highest amount of forage you're going to get out of it. Jason's asking a question. Excuse me, guys. Purchase brassica blend from a local co-op with daikon radishes and purple top turnips. I'm not getting the bulbs to grow. Adequate rain and fertilizer. I think I overseeded. Overseeding will really do it, bud. But another thing that will really do it is your soil. I mean, I don't know if you know what the pH of your soil is. If that pH is low, the plant's going to grow good, but you're going to lose that bulb pretty bad. I mean, a lot of times you just get little golf ball size bulbs. But overseeding is the number one thing that will do that. Then plants are actually starving for nutrition. Sandy soil up in Wisconsin. Usually that sandier soil has 6.5 pH. Yeah, you're good on that pH. If you think you overseeded, that probably has a lot to do with it. Turnips don't grow as well in the sandier soil as the radishes do. Them tubular radishes, they're phenomenal in that soil. But man, the tattletale sign I tell everybody on them, if you plant that plot and it starts to green up and you think, oh my Lord, I didn't plant it thick enough. Look at all these open spots all over the place. I see dirt everywhere. The plants are that tall. That's what I want to see. That means you did not overseed it, and you'll get the best luck out of it. If it comes up like a green carpet and you got plants every 2-3 inches of each other, it's overseeded with too much seed. Dustin, you're exactly right. Scrape fix device on a T-post works great, just like the hemp rope. They work very, very great. Very, very good. Easy to pound T-post, remove after the season. Absolutely. My hemp ropes, I leave them up year round, and I never take them down, and I just refresh them up every year. You would be amazed as the deer, even the fawns that will rear up on their back feet in the spring and try to touch that. Them deer on that rope, that's just the territorial part of it. They're always on it. The does are using it all year long. Bucks will so much. As soon as they go hard horn, they're on it every night. Let me scroll through here real quick, guys. But I'll tell you another thing that works very well. We're talking about food plots a lot, but I don't know if you've seen the video that Todd, the founder of Antler King, and I did when we was out in Wisconsin. Watering hole's key too. It's amazing. I have a watering hole on one of my properties that literally has a creek with water in it that goes all the way through it. You'd be amazed on how many deer go to that watering hole instead of that creek when it's within eyesight of each other. It's just amazing. Jason, you're welcome, bud. So watering hole on a property, I really, really, especially this time of year, I just lost another buck here at the house farm, about 100 probably close to 130-inch 8-pointer with a kicker. Just found him dead, and we're losing a BHD something fierce around here. I mean, these 3 counties around me, they're dropping they're just dropping like cordwood out of the back of a pickup truck. I mean, they're just falling over everywhere. But good fresh water in the areas that you can use mineral, take some of our power rack or trophy deer mineral, mix into them watering holes. If it's illegal to use mineral, do not do it, because you do not want to get in trouble for that. But I wish I could. Here in Illinois, I cannot. But I know people that I got doing it over in Indiana, all over. It's amazing what that that mineral will really draw them. They'll walk past a creek to get to it. So, and it helped the deer too. They can take in them minerals and vitamins that way too. Not only just off a mineral lick on the ground, but they can take it in from drinking that water. But water is a key factor when it comes to food plots. That deer needs security, it needs water, and it needs food. The fourth one is absolutely no pressure. You start pressuring deer, that's when you're going to start having a problem. I was a guy that would go out and hunt just to hunt. I didn't care. I just wanted to go out and sit and hope something would come by. I didn't care what I ran off the plot or ran off through the woods. I'm just hoping that next deer would come by and get a shot off. That's how I started hunting. And some days I miss some days because it's not such of a headache. But you got to learn from your mistakes and watch what happens. I mean, look at the the buck I shot last year. I mean, I've hunted and hunted and hunted. And as I was walking to the food plot that night, literally I could see my truck from the road, and here come a doe chasing that deer right to that clover plot. And this doe was running, and she came up the hill on me to head to that plot, and he stopped 30 yards, and I shot him while I was on the ground. I mean, I wasn't in the woods, 60 feet in the woods. It's just amazing on what can happen when you try to enter and exit a place at the right time, but you can still booger them. That deer, I mean, if I was just a little bit earlier, or if I was just a little bit later, I could have busted them in a hurry and never seen them deer again. But it just happens that quick. Instead of me just trying to go and take the easiest route to that plot, if I'd have done that, I would have never seen them deer. But I knew I had to sneak in this one way just because how the wind was blowing. I had to get in that right way. So always work with that wind. If you don't play the wind, you're in trouble. And talking about clover plots, old Mike Pelletier, my old buddy Mike, old brother Mike there, he shot a good one in Ohio, trophy clover plot. His third stud of the year, 2 big muleys and this big old whitetail. So he's on his way to Illinois and Missouri. It's hard telling what he's going to do, but he's a big buck shooting fool. Let me see what we got here. Mark, what is the best late season food source? Well, the number one late season is honey hole. If you want late season only, you don't want to worry about drawing a lot of deer in early season. You're just looking for that late season, cold weather, nasty, them deer needing high energy to keep them warm and going. Honey hole, you cannot beat it. Honey hole is the number one, and it's our number one seller. It's 30 years old this year, and it's still our number one seller. Easy to grow, fast growing. The energy content is stupid. It's about the same as corn. So look on here, guys. I don't want to throw anybody out here. So any of you guys that are able to hunt right now, Mark, your season's in. You've been hunting yet, or are you just going to wait till this weekend, like you said? Any of you guys out there see anything good? All right, I think we got all them. I know I'm ready to get in a tree stand. I know that. It's going to kill me not to go this weekend, but yeah, when you're chasing a good deer, you got to hold off. Probably the number one thing I do, and I learned this from Adam Crumman, is it hurts me sometimes. I'm not going to say that I stick to it 100%, which I should, but the number one thing that everybody should do is get a moon guide. I'm not sponsored by them. I buy them like everybody else does. I'm just telling you, it blows me away on how accurate them things can be. If you're not pressuring the area and getting their booger and deer out, if you're doing it right, you watch that moon guide, and I promise you within 30 minutes, of what it tells you when you should be sitting there. Either way, 30 minutes before or after, you're going to see it. It's just, it's ridiculous. I would have never dreamed it. And, for the last 5 years, I've used them religiously. Last 2 years now, I got them digitally on my phone. I can sit in the tree stand, look at them. That is my go-to. It's just something that there's times I think I need to be in the stand and I go anyway, but I sit there and look at a guy like Adam and he'll flat tell me, I mean, it's the most beautiful night in the world. The wind's perfect. Everything's perfect. And he'll say, nope, I ain't going. And then all of a sudden he'll say, and I'm not tooting his horn here, but yep, moon's going to be right. I'll have him killed by 8:30. And usually you're getting a text message, in the morning, I should say, not in the evening. But it's just crazy on how they can work. And if you've never used one, or if you have and never done this, look at last year's moon guide and pull up your trail cameras and start going through some dates on that red moon and start looking at them dates on your trail cameras and just see what you got for daytime activity. It'll blow you away. It's amazing on how accurate that thing really is. I mean, there's been times I'm like, man, I know I got a picture of that deer. I know it was in November, and I'll look up and I'll try to figure out where the red moon's at, and I'll start scrolling through it. And what would I say was that day? I'll look at my cameras. 99% of the time, there that picture is. It's something. Let's see here. Oh, Mark, youth season's in. Okay, there you go. They're in Indiana. All right. You're also asking, does chewing tobacco in the stand help or hurt your ability to cover your scent? You're talking to a guy that chews, and I promise you, guarantee it hurts. Anything you can do like that, I mean, and no, you don't want to. I mean, I know the guys that, now turkey hunting, stuff like that. Oh yeah, I'm chewing like a fiend, but I will chew some in the deer blind, my enclosed deer blinds. It's the worst thing I could ever do. But there is times that, I got to do it. Tree stand, absolutely not. Can't do it. I know guys, I take a bottle and I just spit in the bottle, and no, it's in your breath. I mean, it's on your breath. If you've ever been around anybody, and don't get me wrong, I know from my ex to the girlfriend I got right now, they'd tell you need a Tic Tac. If they can smell it, that deer can smell it. Look through here real quick, guys. But I am very, very anal when it comes to clothing, anything. I mean, I don't run air fresheners in my truck. You'll never see me with an air freshener 12 months out of the year in my truck. You never will. Black garbage bags go over the seat. Even though you're just wearing your undergarments, black garbage bag goes on the seat. It's just, you got to get them as scent free as you can. Them deer can pick up. You'll never get them scent free, but get them as best as you can do it, and you'll be better off. Just like I'm not burning candles in my house. I don't have no plug-ins in my house. I don't care where my hunting clothes are at. They're in totes, whatever. You're not putting a plug-in in my house. That stuff will, I don't care what you do. Them odors will just adhere to it. It's just, nope. So yeah, my house probably smells like earth wafers. You never know, but at least it don't smell like a pretty flower when I'm trying to set up a tree stand. Let me see what we got here, guys. A few more of you popping on here. Actually, I think I just seen something from Dustin. Dustin was asking about any kind of liquid you can put in the water and holes, like I talked about with the mineral. He's seen a few TV celebrities using it, but it seems gimmicky to me. It's supposed to be flavored and add mineral. You know, I if I wouldn't have seen it for myself with our power rack and our trophy deer mineral, especially our power rack, because it's it's a lot higher than salt. Uh, it does have 11 different vitamins and minerals in it, trace minerals. Um, I would have told you it's a gimmick. But after seeing what them deer will literally walk around, I have a friend in Indiana that has a house on a pond, and he can watch out his window where them deer are bedded across his pond. And every evening they will get up and walk the berm, walk the dam around, walk out into his clover plot across the driveway from his house, and walk straight to that watering trough and drink out of it with that mineral in it instead of stopping and getting a drink at that pond. And they're literally 2 foot away from the pond walking the dam around the water. It's just amazing. And he has to fill it all the time. They will literally sit out there and just drink and drink out of it. They have fight over it just like they do a feeder or anything. No, Dustin Robie's not talking about his girlfriend. I knew I should not have said that. And it's hunting season. Can you believe it? I told her this is the perfect thing in the world. If you can make it through one of Robbie Pruitt's hunting seasons, if you can make it till mid-July, mid-January, then you're a keeper. And I'm a keeper, I guess. So she's got a lot. Oh my, I feel so sorry for this girl. Oh, she has no clue. I've tried filling her in, but I can't tell her all the bad stuff yet. But I told her, if I have a year like I did last year, as in shooting that great big buck and it getting on the neighbor's property and them refusing me access to go get it and knowing this laid over there and rotted because of the good old Illinois laws, she wouldn't make it 5 minutes with me. Because I'll tell you what, you talking about a crybaby. Holy cow. That's me. I do not want to ever go through that again. But if she can do it, then I know she's a keeper. So, and here I'm getting ready to say something else that is going to blow all you guys away. Now she wants to gun hunt and bow hunt. So that's enough of that. I don't even want to talk no more about it. Actually, I love it to death. So best thing ever happened. Looking really, really forward to it. Mark's asked me if I'd shoot a coyote from your stand during deer season, the rest booger in your target buck. Me, absolutely not. Number one, you'll hardly ever see me shoot a coyote. That's number one. And there's reason for that, but I will never shoot at anything. Yeah, I hear guys, oh, I shot a squirrel, I did this, he went to bow. No, I'm there to deer hunt. I'm deer hunting only. The biggest reason that I will not shoot a coyote is because 15 years I grew up, or I lived with a dog named Sadie, which everybody knows Sadie. Sadie was part coyote. She was a coy dog when I found her, and doing blood tests and everything, she had a lot of coyote blood in her. And that's one reason I will not shoot a coyote. And don't get me wrong, they need to be thinned out. I like everybody else shooting them, but I cannot shoot anything that looks like a dog because I'm such a dog lover. No matter what them are, I know they're killing my turkeys or killing my rabbits or doing all this and that, but I can't shoot anything that looks like a dog. I'm just a big softy when it comes to that. So, but even if I did and I was shooting them, I would never shoot one from the tree stand when I'm trying to hunt a target buck. I just never would. Yeah, Doug, she was a coy dog. We had a bunch of coy dogs running around. When I found her, she was about 3.5 weeks old in the woods. When I found her, when the mom actually dropped her out of its mouth while it was running. And after doing all the blood work and all this stuff, she was part coyote. So Ain't that right, Mark? Yeah, you can't afford to raise the can't afford to waste a arrow or a bolt or even actually anymore, even a shotgun shell or a rifle shell on one. That's the bad thing. High dollar as they are. I just went that Raven crossbow I got back here. I just went and got some more bolts for it the other day, knowing that I'm probably gonna need a bunch more when I get her shooting and everything, and or shooting more. It's ridiculous. By the time you put a broadhead on a bolt or a good carbon arrow for a compound, wow. Yep, you don't want to mess around. Let's see what we got here, guys. Getting kind of late here. Tonight flew by. And just to let you guys know, this is the last one for the year. With hunting season coming on, I know a lot of you guys will be hunting. There's no use keeping you guys out from hunting to come and watch a redneck hillbilly like myself. And really, there's nothing we can do with the food plots. I might jump on here and do some stuff here and there about some feeding programs and stuff like that. But this will be the last one till spring of the year before I'll probably fire it up about early April, maybe March. I'll probably do it in March to get ready for the spring planting, and we'll go from there. But I'll throw some stuff together here and there about some feeding programs and stuff like that. We can talk about it a little more in depth, and that's what a lot of guys are going to be wanting to do this winter and into the spring. Oh, Rick Stillman, he'll waste the slug for me. I know you will, bud. But see, I'm so anal about my property. I got two real good friends that they love trapping, but I don't want them running through my property in the spring and during season or after season. I don't want them running through my property. I don't want to be pushing deer around. I'm just so ate up with my deer that, I had a lot of guys said, "Oh, these coyotes are the hardest thing on deer, mature deer, all this and that." I've sat and watched so many deer chase coyotes off of a food plot. I watched one here the other day out here at the house. I saw a doe stand on her back feet and chase a coyote straight into the woods that was coming after her. So that don't bother me that much. But now my turkeys and stuff, don't get me wrong. But the bad thing about it is right now, getting a lot of bobcats in here. I got two on the property that I know of for sure, and I've been watching them. And I had a big old doe last year. I was sitting in the tree stand, and bobcat came out, and I watched that doe chase that thing 300 yards across that field. It was something to watch. Jason, you're talking about ready for the Iowa Classic? I'll tell you what, but I just got the contracts all done. It'll be here before we know it. No, hold on, Mark. I just read something. Keep us updated on the girlfriend, laugh out loud. Post some hunting photos of him. I'm not even going to go there. I'm not even going to go there. I'll put my foot in my mouth. I ain't going to do it. I'm just so happy that Cody Jarrett's not on here tonight. Because I know what he was going to do because he had to call and tell me about it today. Kevin's asking what's what would be a great show a feeding program? I think you're asking me what would be a great feeding program for a small acreage property. The Graniac blocks, you can't beat that block. That's a year-round block. So if you're looking for something this time of year, or actually all time of year, that's the block to use. Our rack maker feed, again, year-round. Now, springtime and they start developing their antlers, bone growth, switch that block over, or also run the down and dirty block, which is a 30-pound block we have, 28% protein. You're not worried about burning fat off their body while they're growing that bone structure. You just don't want to run it through the wintertime. So, yeah, I'd definitely be running the Graniac block and or the rack maker feed. And then in the spring, I'm going to pump it up with some more protein with that down and dirty block. Greg. Well, Greg, I shouldn't say this about scuba, but you're looking for a 3X hoodie like this, and he's looking for a 4. You don't have no idea how hard it is for us to even get any swag at all right now. We normally carry the 3X. The 4 is a hard one to get, but the 3X, right now, we're running out of everything swag-wise. We're even having a hard time getting our hats. They're ordered. We just can't get them. But I'll keep you in mind on that. And as soon as some come in, I'll be yelling at you. Kevin, you're asking for dates for the Ohio show. You're looking at let's see what we got here. March 16th through the 19th. So I'll roll in that morning of the 16th, and then it'll start that evening. And so you're looking 16th. Holy, why do we got 4 days there? That doesn't make sense. I think they got something mixed up. Let's see here real quick. I got you on the phone, or I got you on the computer. No, they're wrong. It'd be the 17th through the 19th, but setup will be the 16th, but we'll set up the morning of the 17th because it doesn't start till 3 o'clock. So 17th through the 19th of March. Mark Coleman, I appreciate it. You get good luck out there to you too, bud. It'd be good. Looking forward to all the trophy picks come this way this year. I got you, Kevin. I'll put you down for them days. Greg, we were going to do the Great American Show last year, and it was going to be our first year doing it. But after the runaround they gave me on that show all the way down to a week before I had to leave, it was bad enough that I backed out and the company lost $3,000. That's how bad it was. We won't ever do that show. Not with how it's going on. You know, I hate to say that, but it just was not good. And the amount of product that I'd have to have there and what it would cost me to have that product there to even break even, it's just something that it's way too expensive to do. I wish we could. I was really looking forward to it. It was going to be a hard 9-day show, but it's just not feasible for us. If the pricing would have stayed the same, we'd have done it. But you know, a week later, there was a pretty big increase on parking a semi trailer that we just weren't going to do. That's great. The Midwest hunting, man. Yeah, to me, it's some of the best hunting you can do. You know, I love it. Certain times of year is better than others, just like anything. But it's you ever have any questions, you need anything, you feel free to reach out to me. Jump on Facebook and add me as a friend if you haven't already. I'll talk to you in any way I can. Send you my phone number over. Actually, my phone number is actually on my Facebook account. Just yell at me, text me, call me, whatever you want to do. I'll help you out in any way I can, bud. Well, guys, it's 9 o'clock. We're going to have to get off here. And I want to wish all you guys some good success this year. I can't wait to see the trophy picks. I'll throw them up on our Facebook page. And we'll definitely show everybody what you guys are all harvesting out there and the memories that we're making and show them this is a sport that's good and nothing wrong with it. So you guys have a great night and take care. You need anything, again, you know how to get a hold of me. Just like I told him, yell at me. So have a good night, guys. Take care. Bye.